Kish was an old city, built on succeeding layers of ruins that dated back thousands of years, with no former incarnation of the city ever having been swept away. That meant that wherever one traveled in Kish, one stood atop a many-leveled warren of ruins, caves, sewers, tunnels, and forgotten buildings. Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Hembar, and today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of DJ Butler's Among the Great Lords. Among the Great Lords is a 2024 fantasy, kind of sans fantasy, mostly fantasy, novel by DJ Butler. It is book 3 in the Indrajit and Fix novels, series, I guess, actually, because the first book is a novel, but the second one's not, and this one is a novel. But anyways, I've reviewed both of those. Those are In the Palace, Shadow and Joy, and Between Princesses and Other Jobs. You can technically read these in any order, so if this one sounds good to you, feel free to read this one first. I don't really feel like there's any reason not to read the first one first, but in particular, if you like short stories, you could read the second one. This is a buddy fantasy akin to Liber's Fop from the Grey Mouser, but is set more in a Vancian Dying Earth-esque world, and it's a little humorous as well, more like Vance 2. So, though the city of Kish, I would say, is a bit more like Linkmar than anything from Vance. The duo have their third wheel in this one, of course, since this is later in the chronology. The loyal dog-headed Mudahim, or Munahim or something like that, I don't know. Don't forget the city of Kish is full of intrigue in the many races of mankind. It's really a character in of itself. And once again, they find themselves embroiled in dangerous plots, more than one, really. In particular, they are looking to return safely a kidnapped dancer, I guess you could say. Anyways, when a friend of Kish's dies, necromancy is turned to, but this is really no easy sorcery, and it's kind of hard to get access to it. This is actually a friend-zoned friend. That Kish is in the friend zone from this person, as Fix loves her, but it's unrequited. The Grey Lords in this are criminal lords of the city. Some mousy gray might be worn by some of them. They also like to send people on wild goose chases, apparently. It's not your typical Sword and Sorcery Thieves Guild, as there are several covering different territory in the city, and they kind of work in tandem. And they each have different uniforms, passwords, even things of use, right? Like a map of the underworld is kind of the big thing for one of them. And we meet even stranger races of men, particularly some wasp fellows, which are terrifying and oddly tame when we actually get a long dialogue from them, which doesn't actually happen that much. But these deal with the paper sultanates, which we finally learned some of, and it's pretty terrifying. But this has some larger repercussions for the novel and for the city of Kish. The humor is very silly in a cool kind of way. There's some neat nods, and even where the story seems contrived, Butler is rewarding you for paying attention. Got some giggles out of me as well. I have one quote to share at the very end of this review that I found particularly funny. There was a few times I definitely laughed out loud, though. The pace is similar, I would say, to a thriller. It's pretty close to a nonstop action and increasing danger, type of plot. There's definitely things that keep the pages turning. In fact, most Sword and Sorcery and the like aren't really page turners like this, even if they're highly entertaining and very energetic. They're not like this. Like I said, this is almost like a thriller. The dialogue is very to the point, and it helps move things along as well. Very easy to read, really, and it's about 400 pages. One last pro is the character of Lastes. He's fun, and I like that his sense of humor blending with the other 3 characters. And I guess another thing also is a nearly impossible quest for love is cute, and I guess commendable. A con, or maybe a couple, I guess, would be that the general lack of women in this one. Kind of noticed it for a good chunk of the book, definitely. And also, I'd like a glossary of all the races of the bag. Not so much a con, it'd just be, nice if it was there. Because I'm kind of losing track of some of the races sometimes. So, anyways, here's that quote. The first character and then the second character says, it's like, I myself am the cake of order, children. You are mere raisins. What an unexpected metaphor. Liam from Liam's Lyceum. I'll catch you next time.